What do you see now? Test pattern?
Yeah, got your test pattern.
All right. Movie theater with a pug.
Okay. Ladles and jelly spoons.
All
Welcome to Sci Strike's famous movie night. Take it away.
All right. Peter's in our hangout now. That is good. Peter, all right. You can all unmute now. This worked out rather well. The public chat. Make sure I have the correct public chat for Tony, if you don't mind.
Hey, Peter.
Okay, let me just go and get it for you.
Peter, the buzzer thing is in our internal chat for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're Hale, not Peter.
I know. I'm reaffirming what you've said.
Oh.
I'm your hype man.
Tonight, playing the role of Hilt.
No one can play my role except me.
All right. Very good. Doc, still there?
I'm still here, yes.
All right. Shall we commence?
Yes.
All righty.
Bring the rain, son. Bring the rain.
All righty. Here we go.
Sound. There we go. I have to swap to your earphones again. I've got too much lag.
Okay.
Oh, of course, yeah.
All righty.
Into laggy mode.
Well, welcome everyone, and this is the first ever shared movie night. And I would like to thank Doc Hackenslash. I would like to thank Tony for allowing us to participate.
Oh, behave. Seriously. Thank you so much for all your help in making it happen.
Well, all righty. For anyone who is unaware of how this all works, essentially we watch either pseudoscience or something of that sort, or young Earth creationist or something of that sort. And when something so egregiously stupid is mentioned that it requires a response, one of the panel will simply yell "drink," and then we stop the video, and they get to say what it is they feel is necessary to say. So, on that note,
one of the panel.
All right, so, some or all of the panel make all drink. So,
and then we drink.
And
okay.
Yes, we do.
I just joined. I'm so sorry. Can you guys review the rules?
Okay. Basically, in this case, by the way, we're going to be watching a fabulous presentation by Mr. Ken Ham.
Yay!
Yeah, and
fabulous.
It's Answers News from May 17th with Georgia Purdom, Bodie Hodge, and Kenny Ham.
Kenny Ham.
How the rules go is if anyone hears something sufficiently stupid that it demands a response, you just yell "drink" and we stop the video. And you get to have your say.
Okay.
Now, we normally, because we have a large panel, we use this buzzer system. We're going to try to get by without that tonight because it's a little bit cumbersome. So everybody on our... Now, I know all of you on Doc's stream, I don't even need to mention this, but for the people on our panel, we're going to be doing something different tonight. We're all going to be polite. We're not going to talk over each other. There's going to
speak for yourself.
There's going to be.
So are you going to tell me? So is Cap not there then?
No,
So,
Cap.
I'm here.
Cap was booted.
He finally took our own advice.
Yeah,
Got to put food 24 hours ago.
indeed. I think he must have had a long day because I've been unable to contact him. Normally he joins every time.
Yeah, well, he actually fell.
Indeed. All right. Well, I see no reason why we shouldn't get on with it. And you have the option when you call drink of indicating whether it was a specific logical fallacy. Well, we have a counter, and you can say what that logical fallacy is, and we'll augment the counter. If he was just plain wrong, or not even wrong. So we maintain counters for each one of those. So,
Okay. And I'm sorry, what's your name?
This would be Psy Strike, who you may abbreviate to Psy at your choice.
Okay, cool. Are you on Twitter?
Indeed.
Yes. Okay, I need to make sure I'm following you. This is Skeptic Nikki.
And I am certainly one of your followers from way back.
Okay, awesome.
And it is an honor to finally actually speak with you directly like this.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We'll bypass all the usual announcements, and I did preview where Mr. Ham's commercial ends, so we can jump past that and not waste time.
Yes.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
Just plain wrong.
Yeah, it's the usual stuff. Come to my park, bring your money, that kind of stuff. You're not missing anything. Trust me on this one.
Yeah, son. You're stalling.
I'm caught every time that new folks.
You're stalling.
I get caught every time I try to stall. All right, here it comes. I tried to delay it, and as we always do, to anyone watching, we apologize. But here it comes. Let's start it up, and we'll do an immediate jump to...
Hi, and welcome to Answers News.
Yeah, hi. We're jumping to 4 minutes. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. I believe...
I mean we're not going to listen to their sales pitch?
No, we're not. I'll do it for you. Come to the park, leave logic and reason in the glove box of your car.
Glove box.
Bring your money. It's much
Bring money.
Right. You informed Tony that his stream now is going to end on Tuesday?
I promised that we would not exceed 1 hour. I even closing.
So that means we're gonna get 30 seconds into the video then.
Less and more time.
And
so you think this time someone will listen to you actually?
Well, I hope so.
Hey,
I got my finger on the boot button. Guess what?
You don't bring your money. You bring. You hand over your wallet at the door, which you will not get back, and then you can hand over all your banking details because poor Kenny needs your money.
Indeed, I believe that is the case. All right. Well, on that note, we are past the. I did preview this to see where the commercial ends, and it's right about here. So if everyone has their beverage of choice ready, I see no reason why we should not proceed.
You have.
I
know a lot of reasons that you won't like them.
All right, yeah, and I do know why we shouldn't proceed. It's because it's Ken Ham. That's why. But
all right. Well, to make sure we're all ready.
There you go.
All right, everybody, don't forget Ethernet. Networking. Listen first. If you do not hear anyone else talking, you may start to talk. When you're done talking, if you still hear someone else, wait a random amount of time and retransmit. Okay, here we go. On with the ham.
You who are on your smartphones, we'll have to hear from that. People from Colorado. There was somebody who said they heard me speak at the homeschool conference in Texas. I was just down there recently. Some from Nebraska, Illinois, and New York City, and let me see, what else? Belfast, Northern Ireland. My grandparents came from Belfast. Yeah. We're going to be in Ireland, not Northern Ireland, but Ireland.
Right, Central.
Dublin with a conference.
Was there a drink for that?
Why?
Just plain wrong. Just plain wrong. Belfast is in Northern Ireland, not Ireland.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, we have our first drink call.
All right.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. And
Didn't think it'd be a geographical one, but okay.
No, that's weird.
So I'm hearing that on top of not being able to understand evolution, Ken doesn't even know his own geography.
Ken doesn't geography. No.
Where
He
his,
doesn't ge-
where his grandparents came from.
Ken doesn't geography, no.
By the way, Sai, you're not presenting.
No, the only thing Ken does is ham.
Oh,
No, that's
Oh.
David Cameron.
I should be presenting. Oh, now wait a minute. Who said I wasn't presenting?
Peter.
Peter. Okay, Peter, just click on me. That's in our Hangout. Just put a pin in me. Then poof, full screen. Coolness will ensue.
You hear that, Peter? He wants you to stick him.
All right, enough of that.
That's a dream come true after all these weeks.
Ken doesn't brain. That's funny.
All right. Let us continue with the foolishness.
You asked for it, Sai. You asked for it.
Lovely. All right.
Moving on, please.
Yes, moving on. My favorite phrase. Here we go.
I'll be doing speakers, and there'll be people come from all over Europe for that particular conference. So they can find out information about that from.
What? Drink? Squirrel, was that a drink call?
This isn't happening. This whole movie isn't happening.
Because, well, I actually have something really quick. It's going to be really quick, I promise. You see,
Okay.
Ken, I'm going to tag you as not even wrong. Not because I think you're lying to us or you're trying to make a scientific claim, because what you're doing what you're going to do is pollute the minds of young people, which is not even wrong. That is so wrong that wrong cannot describe it.
I agreed.
You got one hell of a head start, dude.
That gets.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, not to mention, you can tell he's wrong because his lips are moving.
Go ahead, Harrison.
I was wondering, wouldn't it also be this might be a reach, but couldn't it be also argument ad populum? Because he's bragging about just how popular his place is.
That is also true.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, therefore.
I agree. It's a tad bit of a reach, but we could give this to her.
I mean, he's again, like you mentioned, he's not really making any sort of an actual claim. He's just.
Yeah, I was gonna say we haven't heard it.
But there is a claim implicit in him talking about all the places where people come from, and that is an ad populum.
Like it's
carries it on the money there.
The name into awesome news.
All right.
Let us move on. Here we go.
Got enough of this one.
Yeah, really. We gotta get this to fit. Here we go. Moving on.
Our website.
Okay.
So North Carolina. Somebody said, okay, where do we go?
After volcanic eruption, some Hawaiians wondering if destruction's the work of Pele, goddess of fire. And so,
Drink.
so basically,
Because of the Hawaiian?
I heard it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Pele's a Brazilian footballer, not a goddess of fire.
I was gonna say.
It's also a goddess. Pele is also a goddess.
It is part of the
Yes, but where's the comedy in that?
Island pantheon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Squirrel, did you call drink on this?
Okay, prediction time.
Can we drink because it's Fox News?
No, it isn't Pele. It's Yahweh.
All right. Let us continue.
Of course, he's not going to say that. Do you actually think that he's going to blame God for anything?
Well, if there's gays in Hawaii, you never know.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And
you're blaming all of this on Pele, and so that the volcano is erupting and causing a lot of mass destruction. So they're leaving her leaves and flowers and hoping that she'll be kind once again, because they kind of give the history of Pele in here, the legend. Obviously, this is not a real goddess.
Drink.
Excuse you, bitch. Excuse
You know
that
what?
bitch.
You know what? Jared buzzed. Jared did think he said a buzzer. Go ahead, Jared. but not real.
Okay, I don't know what your name is. I quite frankly don't care. But the fact that you used air quotes when other religion's deity, one, is a cunt bag move.
It is.
You are denigrating all religions, including your own. But wait a minute. You don't see it that way. Why? Could it be because your head is so far up your own sphincter that your nose and your heart are right next to each other?
All right.
I think we have a logical fallacy as well.
Oh, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, because no one was ever born north of Hadrian's firmament. It is the no true Scotsman fallacy applied to gods.
That is true. Yeah. My God. There's no true God believer except for Christianity.
I'm not even sure if it falls under a specific logical fallacy.
What do you have?
Well, she seems to take issue with people blaming this on God, when really it would seem he ought to be taking credit considering his fondness for eternal flame.
This is true.
Yeah. This actually gets much worse when you stop and think about it. That is Georgia Purdom, by the way.
Yeah, doctor.
She does actually possess
Ooh, no.
And I believe it's some version of biology.
Yeah.
But the use of air quotes there and the statement that is not a real goddess, that is actually an argument from authority.
Really?
On top of not even being...
Because she is claiming that their God is the only real God and all other ones are in air quotes real.
Yeah, no, that's not an argument. That's not an argument from authority.
Is she the authority? Because she's not.
No, I wouldn't say it's an argument from authority. I would say it's a false equivalence.
All right.
Well.
Yeah, well, she's not. She's actually drawing a false non-equivalence, isn't she?
I was going to say, because to us it is equivalent, but to her it's not.
Yeah,
but we would
to
say
her it's not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. I kind of figured that particular part of the video would draw a lot of drink calls. All right. Let us move on. I know. All right. All right, Hill. All right, Hill. Please tell.
It's just okay.
I love this snapshot as well.
We don't have a but it just seems very ironic to me that Answers in Genesis of all people would be the ones who are saying, no, of course it's not some sort of supernatural explanation that's the cause of this.
That's not what she's saying. She's saying it's not their supernatural explanation because she's going to tie it back to God eventually. I mean,
well,
it's going to be hers.
Yeah, that is probably the case. All right, very good. And all right, enough with the buzzing. Move on. Trust me, they'll be more stupid. You're not missing out.
Drink. Well, and we don't.
I'm only taking steps of this drink because I know what it's going to be like.
I don't think. Actually, I have not heard RJ. Did RJ successfully do his mic check?
Yes.
Okay.
I heard him.
All right.
Frank.
Yes, Hill.
The company is I like how it's just this very minor point. The company is called Answers in Genesis, and they have the book Genesis in the show called Answers. So they have Genesis and Answers.
Okay. Okay, that's a little.
Imitating life.
That's too convoluted for me, and remember what I was exposed to a little earlier on Red's show. So
that is true. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you.
I have not fully recovered. Oh, there was stupid. Okay, let us continue with this particular stupid. It looks like these two have fallen asleep. Interesting. Okay, moving on.
There's no such thing, but she's passionate and moody. So apparently she did that.
That sounds like
Drake. Just wanted to add, passionate and moody. Have they read the Bible?
They read Genesis, and not just that. Is that a dig at her own gender?
Yes, it is.
She's just a bitch, really.
I love you, Nikki.
Way to cut through all the nonsense and just no. Here's what's going on.
She's a bitch.
All right. Okay. Any other comments at this point?
No, keep going.
Hearing none, we've made it to 5 whole minutes in 20 minutes. Here we go. And we cut off
the record.
We
don't talk about this for.
All right. That is the first rule of the first report. Okay, moving on.
You, passionate and moody.
You would say that.
So,
sorry.
Apparently.
Yes, apparently. It's interesting that the person that they interviewed here is actually living with the Red Cross right now, an organization founded by Christians.
Right.
All the while arguing for this.
He's also a bitch.
Okay.
Thank you.
Squirrel, I heard you with the drink call there. What have you?
You guys just finish the fucking bottle. Just whatever you're drinking, finish it. Okay. First off, the Red Cross is not a Christian organization by nature or by function.
Okay.
No.
It is in fact a secular organization intended to provide assistance on battlefields or other places where the situation is very, very, very dire. Okay. And yes, Beej, you are correct. Give the man a hand. It was actually founded by a small pack of universalists, which makes them not Christians. Okay. Not even wrong, dude.
Okay.
Not even.
And it's only the Red Cross when it is coming from historically Christian nations. When you look at the same organization, their branches coming from the Middle East, they are actually using the crescent moon as a symbol, not the cross.
Well,
okay.
Mr. is correct. He is conflating the Red Cross with the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
Salvation is a
Salvation Army.
Yeah.
No, he had it right. Slave Nation. Right.
Slave Nation.
In Eritrea, they have the red crystal.
Okay.
Because they couldn't decide.
Go to hell, Bodie.
All right. Well, this is interesting. I'm told that because we're concurrently broadcasting this, on our channel, and I'm told that the audio is not carrying through there for some reason. That's very
everyone should go and watch my channel then, and I'll get more.
Absolutely. You know what?
This is a clever ploy.
Clever. Everybody should be here watching anyway on Tony's channel.
A plot by the man.
Conspiracy by Messi, the god of water.
All right. Well, respect my conspiracy. All righty. Very good. I wonder why that would be. No, Mike's not muted over there. We should get an audio. Oh well, irrelevant. It's gonna be going anyway.
One logical fallacy, one not even wrong.
Okay.
Oh, look at that! I've picked up 76 subs today.
Hell.
Nice. Okay.
Well, in the last hour, it's gone up a lot.
On that note, let us.
One logical fallacy side, you're still on 3.
Come on, appease the man.
All right, there you go. Okay, and let us move on. There we go.
Sai,
yes, sir.
The buzzer doesn't work?
Sure it does. I was ignoring you. I'm just trying to get as much into it as possible for Tony's stream, so we don't.
I have a serious question. Though.
Oh, please go ahead.
Anyone noticed yet that when they're talking about Christians, they're talking about men and women, and when they're talking about non-Christians, it's always this person. They're even trying, at least in my opinion, to maybe dehumanize other people. And it's becoming more and more obvious in Answer News.
All right,
I think I have one chat.
In the pop-out chat, apparently we're not, because of this, the technology is apparently far from perfect, or my implementation thereof is far from perfect, doing 2 streams at once from OBS. Why don't somebody put this link for Tony's channel in the public chat so they can all come over here where they ought to be anyway? What do you think? Somebody wouldn't mind doing that. That would be all kinds of cool.
Don't cross the streams.
Don't.
No.
Yeah, well, I
gotta do it.
All right.
The only way we can
Is
defeat
this
Marshmallow.
Well,
which group is this? Oh, I see it. Heretics Corner. Okay.
Alrighty. Okay.
But I was going to say,
Yes?
Team Skeptic and I didn't have this problem on Monday.
All right.
Just saying, it might be you.
It's entirely possible. We have, but no, OBS is indicating all desktop audio is going out, and all of you and me are in fact. Wait a minute. They're not saying they don't hear anything. They're saying they don't hear me.
Yeah.
Ah.
So it wasn't actually a complaint then.
Ty, do you see what you get if you ignore me?
I'm sorry. Did anyone hear anything? All right, let's get going.
Half an hour.
Yeah,
All right, so we got half an hour.
Indeed. Here we go. Moving on.
Paganism. What's interesting is Pele, they claim in here is all powerful and yet has a father and has some siblings and came to Hawaii on a canoe. What that is, that's a form of ancestor worship.
Okay. Peter, you're up.
I'd like to know with what having a father and a mother has to do with omniscience.
No, well, because their God doesn't have parents, and their God is the only true, all-powerful, all-knowing God. Then all others are shit.
Aha. Do not make
Well,
sense.
obviously, mothers have eyes in the backs of their heads, so.
Mine does.
My wife does, and my mother, I can't get anything over my mother.
And alrighty, and here we go.
Some of these people might have actually been people in the past that came to the island, but they have been elevated to a godlike status, and they're taking these ancestors and flying goblins.
Okay, Jared.
The look on George's face?
Yeah. That equivalency you just tried there, dude, that sounds an awful lot like an ancient carpenter who was only mentioned outside of your preferred text.
Yeah.
One, in reference to his brother.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I'm talking about Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh, okay, all right. For some reason, I was thinking
By the
Dr.
way,
Who.
the other place he's mentioned is the Quran.
Oh yeah,
Thank
he's mentioned by name, and the Quran is still a religious text. I'm saying non-religious text. Jesus of Nazareth is only mentioned once, and they're actually talking about James, his brother of Jesus, who is known as Christ. That is the only reference outside of religious text.
Alrighty.
And that's a forgery anyway. We had Richard Carrier on earlier talking about that at length.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
All right, and on that note, moving on.
It is possible because, cultures all over the world have legends about people building a boat and on a boat and so on. Do you think there could be some veiled reference to the flood?
There's a possibility for that.
Oh, how does he just tie everything to the damn flood?
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
everything. It's like he's obsessed with that little story.
Indeed.
You and your flood.
He actually answers that question. He actually answers that question with the plaque of the Ark Encounter.
$50 for
What you through the wall of water, I'll show you a freaking flood. Okay? All the flood legends that you're thinking of were all took place near rivers or oceans, mostly rivers, lakes, etc. And were local in extent. For example, during the period of time that his global flood was supposed to have occurred, we are seeing no reversal of civilization in the Indus Valley, in China, in Japan, or pretty much anywhere else. Egypt's a big one. You would think they fucking notice.
It's hard, but as we all know from the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the pyramids were built as granaries for Joseph, so it's all really weird.
Yeah.
That does clear it up a little, doesn't it?
Yeah, you do wonder why the Egyptians were digging canals while they were buried under 9 kilometers of water, though.
Well, they got to send the water somewhere, and I have to read out Main Gun's most recent edition in the chat. Maybe floods makes his wife wet.
All right.
I don't even know how that applies. Like what?
Nikki's question, how by Ken Ham himself, because he's got a plaque up in the Ark Encounter, and it's probably the only true thing that he's ever said, which is that if you can't take Genesis as being true, then you can't trust the rest of the Bible.
Oh no, my mom said
Ken.
that.
Well done.
My mom said that. Yeah, she's right. She believes all that stuff too.
Yeah, and
she said that when you credit one thing, the rest of it crumbles, and she won't, for the life of her, admit that it's bullshit. I got her to admit there's no evidence the flood happened, and then she said she believes it happened because it's in the Bible, but she has to.
Yeah, that is that's fairly common. I will hear nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably the drinks that people had.
Bill, you have something to add?
Yeah, thanks. I don't understand this one point in their logic when they say, okay, so they're different, even though in some cases this isn't true. There's a bunch of cultures around the world that have flood legends. Okay, sure. Well, why does that make theirs in particular true? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's emotional.
Oh yes, a bunch of people are telling the same conflicting story, so therefore ours is the correct one.
It's emotional.
If everyone's telling a slightly different version of a story, that doesn't make any one particular version correct. It makes them all contradictory.
But that doesn't matter because it's emotional and it's important to them to believe it. So they're going to see theirs as preferable. Of course, we can.
I just don't even see. I don't even see how they could possibly argue that. I don't even see, aside from the argument of, well, I like this one more. I don't even see how that could make any even bad logical sense.
You're never going to be able to think biblically with an attitude like that.
I don't.
That's true. You just need to believe first. When I'm hearing you bring up a lot of objections to God's existence, and honestly, I feel like you haven't taken the time to open up your heart. So, what I'm gonna
or if the heart doesn't work, try the spleen or the liver.
Believe me, I've tried opening my spleen.
Just not try use the right thing.
All right. Perhaps we should get some more silliness going here. Here we go.
Yeah, I want to see them talk about science.
I'm sure it's coming. And after all, this does say news.
Oh no, not news.
Yes, but will it be historical science or observational science?
No, I hope.
All right, moving on.
Sometimes we do find some post-flood legends, where people are talking about little local things or some of the events that are going there. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 500 flood legends. I know a lot of creationists say over 300. I looked at over 200 myself. I get tired of reading it. But even the secular side.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's reading them. I mean, give him that. At least he knows. He needs to maybe that would eventually hit him, because it hit me. Why does everybody seem to have the same stories, same ideas, and they all think the other is wrong? I mean, you probably won't with this guy, but
What does anybody know what Bodhi's academic credentials are?
I got a feeling you're about to tell us, aren't you?
They're probably better than mine, so I don't think that's really a factor, is it? In fact, I know they're better than mine. I bet he's got a high school diploma. I haven't.
Okay, Bodhi.
Yes.
If you're gonna pull numbers from your rectum, try and make it reasonable. Okay.
Right.
Most creationists say 200. Well, why aren't you using that number? You like the number 200. Do you have any evidence to support that? And if so, citation fucking needed.
Well, yeah, I mean, he probably is just throwing it out there, but I mean, he's reading something other than his own ideas. Just, I mean, baby steps. We're expecting too much, you know.
There's a cottage industry of let's look around for flood legend things. Some of the ones trace back to missionaries that were coming in the 18th century, and 19th century ethnographers came in later, and they write down the air quotes local flood legend. And some of them are just mangled. They distort the Chinese story completely. They make up a completely imaginary Egyptian flood story. They've got little charts and stuff. So file this one under not even wrong.
Okay, that works. So shall it be. All righty, let us continue with the foolish. Oh, yeah, Karis, go ahead.
How much of this is, possibly even just entertainment? I mean, we're people now, we were people then. People like entertainment, and flood legends can be fun.
Indeed. I would not disagree with that.
Thousands of years from now, are they going to be saying that we actually believed Star Wars? Because everybody talks about Star Wars.
Say it ain't so.
Well, if in the end of the last one they produce, it says that it's all true, then yes. Because if it says it's true, why would it say it's true if it's not true? Anyway.
Well, and it is a story from a galaxy far, far away.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And what we got to do is to connect co-op to this, and we've got the whole damn package.
See, that would be, Jared, good point. Because that would be fulfilled prophecy. Because if someone is looking at this in the distant future, miraculously, we have predicted a story from long, long ago. It's beautiful. That's it. All right. Star Warsism. That's going to conflict. That's going to conflict with my core belief of Star Trekism.
Oh no! Well, we're going to hell for that.
No, but keep in mind, Star Trek is the future. Star Wars is the past.
That is true. Very true.
Yeah, it's so passe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm really excited when they're going to figure out that Jesus was actually when he walked on water.
That will be interesting.
Stars flash.
Culture technology all along.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Mr. Unite for the Children.
Yes.
May I have a moment to talk to you about the love of Jar Jar? No, Jar Jar is not a Jar Jar is one of the heads of the beast.
Okay, then.
Oh, yeah, that theory.
All right. On that note.
Didn't need the Master Sith plot.
Let us move on and see what foolishness awaits. Moving on.
They'll say upwards of 500. And you know what? We expect this. The Bible records the true event through the power of the Holy Spirit through Moses. And then as people go to different parts of the world, they take that
Drink.
Okay.
The Bible records.
All right. I think there was someone not in the buzzer system.
There was a drink call.
Yes, there was.
Frick.
All right. We will augment the drink counter. I have Squirrel at the top of the list from the buzzer. So, Squirrel,
and then me.
Briefly, enlighten us.
Okay. Voting does. Okay. I am completely convinced at this point that all three members of this panel have a very severe case of cranial rectal inversion.
Okay.
Georgia can currently look out in between her own freaking teeth. That's all there is to it. Bodie, on the other hand, is busy making claims with an ego that is currently writing checks his body can't fucking cash.
Okay.
Claim after claim after claim after claim after claim.
All right.
He doesn't know what he's talking about, and it shows. He doesn't even know his own. Doesn't even know his own religion. He doesn't. He has no concept of proper theology. I know better than that last pile of bullshit, and don't even get me started.
All righty, and I think
I know better than that.
I think think Jared had something to add as well. What do you got, Jared?
Yeah, claiming that the Bible is the record of history from the Holy Spirit. No, it is a collection of morality tales. It is a collection of parables. It is bastardized mythology from other cultures. It's a wonderful work of literature in its context, but not in actual writing and actual stylistic points. It's actually shit writing, shit book, and actually, and the easiest way to become an atheist, actually read the Bible.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Absolutely. All righty.
It didn't help Kent. He believes it cover to cover. He says he's run it all. I doubt that seriously.
But he is a nincompoop.
And let us not forget their statement of faith, which indicates that whatever conflicts with the Bible is wrong.
Must be wrong.
Must.
Only the true facts of science and history will match up with the Bible.
Indeed. All righty. And on that note, let us move on.
It's convoluted. Sometimes they lose information. Sometimes they embellish it. But
you know what? You know what's interesting? The Bible says in Romans 1 that God has made it evident to all that He's a creator, and that we know that there's a God. And Romans 2.
Oh, they know. Drink.
Okay, Jared, you go first.
There is only one word that is an apt response to what just came out of your mouth, Ken, and that is bullshit.
Okay.
Abject bullshit.
Can I have a logical fallacy, please?
All right.
I don't know. Can you?
Logical fallacy.
Please specify.
Affirming the consequent. Affirming the consequent.
Okay.
Honestly, not anything Ken Ham or Ken Homan. Seriously.
Indeed. Let's Peter. I see you've buzzed in. What have you, Peter?
Yeah, with what he just said, we need another category. Just plain lie.
Just plain lie. Okay. We'll think about adding that as well.
Actually, we want to name it false-based lie, because this is exactly what it was.
Okay, that works. Hill, I see you have buzzed. Please proceed.
Yeah. Mainly it's that there's no more annoying way to quote-unquote win an argument than to tell your opponent they already believe you and that you're right and that they know you're right. It's just so annoying and unproductive to talk to someone and just say, well, you already know that I'm right, but you're just hiding it. It's annoying and it's not productive conversation.
I would tend to agree. Alrighty, we're making great progress here. We're at 6:58 out of this fabulous cinematic experience in only 43 minutes.
3.
Which means
we'll be done by
and we'll be 8 of actual video time.
Yeah. 2 minutes and 58 seconds in 43 minutes. Okay.
Okay, side strike. Wait, you should know the first rule of movie night is we don't talk about movie night. But the second rule of movie night is that we don't mention the time skips to get to present time. We don't talk about it. We covered it all. You hear me?
That is true.
We covered all of it.
Yes, we did, and it was ever so interesting. All right. Very good. Clearing the buzzer list, and let us move on.
To we know what's right and what's wrong because God has put a conscience there. So people do
drink. No, I think a lot of that has to do with evolution, social behavior, and evolution working on populations instead of individuals. It was a hell of a lot better for people to not eat each other in order to survive and evolve. Okay, and moving on.
Yeah, not to mention, because he's calling something knowledge when he has absolutely no way of knowing.
Yes. The difference between belief and knowledge does not seem to be strong in Mr. Ham. Alrighty, and here we go.
Know that there's a God.
They want to attribute it to something, and it's sad too because
Drink.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Proceed.
There's a false equivalency there because a God doesn't equal moral or whatever his perception of morality is. He's trying to blend the two, and you can't do that. Because we don't know if a God is moral. There's no demonstration of one.
And if we look at the documentation, there's strong evidence for less than moral, what we would consider moral behavior. And the whole because God did it, it's moral. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless you define
Stephen Fry's speech.
or vice versa.
Indeed.
Or you can define the God first, and then we can then draw our conclusions from that. Because at this point, he's just basically saying what he thinks is moral, what God thinks is moral, and that's no different from someone else saying it's the same thing. So we need something more concrete.
The definitions of what a God is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that varies as well.
All right, I think Squirrel has something to briefly add. Please proceed, Squirrel.
I can boil down. I can actually boil that entire thing down to define God. Two words.
That would be handy.
And nobody can do it.
Well, they define the God, they just can't demonstrate it. Because we can define unicorns. Define a unicorn. But we can't demonstrate they exist in real life or in reality.
I'm not sure they define God so much as they specify which God.
Or they define what their interpretation of a God is. But a God is, I mean, there's pretty much a general idea of a God that persists across cultures. But it differs based on the individual interpretation of that generalization. That makes sense?
Indeed.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with arrogance as far as our own race. Like,
yes,
our perception of ourselves is so high that everything above us must therefore be divine.
Yes, a God is basically a superego.
And
we know by the text that God certainly has one of those.
Yeah.
There's also self-esteem issues.
Oh yeah, and also, Karis, what I was going to say is leading off of that is not just something. It's not just above us, but it's also so like us in so many ways.
Yeah, isn't that a bit of a mystery? How it seems that all of these gods seem to match the what was morality of the people that were writing about the god at the time in whatever culture. That's an amazing coincidence.
Yes. That you see, because God made companions, and so He made people in His own image. So,
Yeah, well,
So God has testicles and a uterus. Okay.
Plus, I don't see where that fits because
He would never be allowed in the restrooms.
I show up.
That's why He doesn't make appearances that way, because our rules don't allow Him to walk around openly.
Ah, that explains it. All right, let us continue with the foolishness. Here it comes. Moving on.
That's obviously it's not very nice a lot of the time. If you read the history of her, but one of the people even said, "Well, she'll protect her children. I know she will," meaning the people on the Hawaiian Islands. And I'm like, why? If you read her history, she's done some horrible things in the past.
No, dude, really drink.
Oh yeah. That's I knew that. Was
drink so much. I mean.
Oh yes. Yep. And
drink.
Jared's got it. Jared's got it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jared.
Girl.
Okay. Not Jared. Not Jared. Will now listen to Jared.
What's that smell? Is that the wonderful smell of hypocrisy? Because you're criticizing the text of one religion for exactly what is in your own religion's text. Yeah, pot and kettle?
That right there is the smell of to smell your own bullshit.
All right. Now, I think Squirrel, I'm not entirely sure. I think Squirrel may have had something to add to this conversation.
I don't think so, honestly.
You don't think? Let's ask him anyway. Squirrel, would you happen to have something to add at this point?
Okay. First off, Jared is correct. This is extreme hypocrisy. And it leads me to believe that Georgia signed the piece of paper so that she would have a fucking job after she disgraced herself in proper academia. She has no idea what her holy text says in any way, shape, or form. To make two of you and Bodhi, period. Okay. Let's go with this one, Georgia. You have a goddess that has a very strong oral tradition and has had for a long time. And you have yours, which is not only written down, but it's proven untenable based on a mountain of freaking evidence. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Just once. One time, Georgia. All you have to have. We give you the same thing that I gave Bodie a little while ago. Citation fucking needed.
All righty. And I believe Peter seems to have buzzed in. Peter, what have you to add to this conversation?
First, the question I have to relay from the chat. Luigi says, "Can you tell them Ken committed a beggar's fallacy when he just said that he knew God exists?"
Okay.
But I'm just baffled by the fact that they can see the harm in every other god, but not in their own. I mean, even version 2, Jesus was pro-slavery, and that's all okay.
I'm not baffled by it at all, to be honest with you.
I was just thinking about they're so close.
No, his ways are higher than our ways. His ways are
right. His ways are higher. They'll go to any length to justify it, to verify their own beliefs. It's weird. What I'm more intrigued by is the need to believe it. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm saying, like, I'm more intrigued by the need to believe it and why it's so important to them, because obviously it's outrageous, everybody. I mean, even you can get them to admit it. I've gotten Christians to admit things straight up. At the end of the day, it's basically, well, you just have to believe it. You just need to believe it. Because God has done amazing things in my life. You need to believe it. And I'm just like, but why? You just admitted yourself there's no evidence. You admitted yourself that you have no idea if this is true or not. So why do I need to believe it? Well, it's what I believe. Well, you're you. And you believe, I mean, that's your thing. Well, yeah, I guess it is my thing. So why is it so important for me? Because I don't want you to go to hell. Well, that's your belief in hell, not mine. And they persist in it. And that's what blows my mind.
Their entire religion, their entire foundation is based on one of fear. Do this or else. Do this or this will happen. Act in this way or this will happen. If you notice, it's never a positive outcome. It's always do this or you're going to hell. Do this or God is going to fuck with your life going forward.
Well, having come from fundamentalism myself,
yes,
I could kind of provide one answer to this objection, if you'd like it.
Yeah, please.
Yes. One explanation that I have heard was, regardless of who you are, is what it is, and you know there's a highway whether you believe it or not, and it's kind of like what we say, you know, the truth is.
Somebody okay?
I'll be all right. Yeah, it sounds like somebody's dying over there.
If you feel a cough coming on, if you wouldn't mind muting, it'd be a little helpful. But I hope you feel better soon.
The honest he's like, muted, but please, do we care?
No, please die quietly. Die quietly, please.
Look, your agony is annoying us. No,
that's too funny.
Yeah, trying to get us over time.
Purely. Anyway, yes.
All right, Karis.
Okay, Karis, please. A new hashtag?
Boot squirrel.
Oh no!
Boot crumple squirrel.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Squirrel, you're big. Well, now boot cap did have some merit, but and that's a little long. Anyway, all right.
And you have to take into consideration boot cap actually worked because he's not here.
We didn't mean for that to happen, but Cap's generally with us every week. All right.
It's been trending all week in several streams, so there must be something to it.
It does.
I'll just point out, since Bodie and the bunch want to imply that
you're somebody's a one.
Interrupting cow.
All right.
Sorry. This is movie night. This is movie night. All right. RJ.
Movie night.
RJ, were you mid-word?
Yeah, I was in mid. That Bodhi and Georgia by the Pele, some silly, ridiculous folk tale that is not at all like the lofty and wonderful Bible. But I remember reading the guru of their young Earth creationism, Henry Morris, insisting with a straight face that the craters of the moon were formed when Archangel Michael threw thunderbolts at Satan.
Oh, all right. Well, you know,
this was in the 70s.
So we have him to blame for Electric Universe.
Yeah, there we go. Might as well.
Let's see.
This actually gets better because we actually have claims from some other idiots who swear that the craters on the moon, both sides, mind you,
I know where you're going.
are the result of floodwater being kicked away. That includes Neptune, Saturn's rings, the whole smack.
We're not referring to Nephi, are we?
And let's not forget our volcanically ejected marsupials going to Australia after the flood.
Oh yeah, that's right. With the ballistic arc that leaves them hanging that actually leaves them hanging in a hard vacuum for like 2.5 or 3 hours.
Lovely.
Wouldn't you want to eat eucalyptus leaves after an experience like that?
All right, we've got a few minutes left to this. Let us continue and see if we can get in 1 or 2 more drink calls on what are the odds?
I want to hear some science from these people.
I wish you luck. Yes, Peter.
Should we consider Karis maybe finishing what she was talking about?
All right. I lost it in. Karis, I apologize. Please continue. Thanks, Peter.
The conversation's gone elsewhere now, but basically, just because a person believes something doesn't mean that aligns with the truth. The truth is constant, whether you believe it or not. So that's, in a nutshell, the answer that some of you, whether you can say, well, I don't believe that way, so it doesn't apply to me. And their answer would be, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. The truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not.
Indeed. I actually had an interesting conversation with a theist that basically agreed with me on just about everything and concluded the conversation with, I believe this because I want to. And you know what? I was fine with that. I'm okay with that.
That is the most intellectually honest response any deist person can give.
I was happy. I'm not trying to take away your good feelings or anything of that sort. I just and I had all my logical arguments, and there was agreement, and then that honesty at the end, I was immensely pleased. But all right, we've got 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left to not go over our slot, so let's see what good old Kenny has for us. There we go.
Anyway, it's not like Pele revealed themselves like the Word of God is a revelation of God.
So let me ask you a question then. So why is this volcano erupting? Because it's a fallen world.
Because
We know that.
Yeah, that's
It's a groaning fallen world.
But,
for fuck's sake.
All right.
The what?
It's an oil well.
It's a what? An oil well? What?
Preemptive. It's the fault of the flood. Everyone knows this.
Of course.
Wait, did he just tie it back to the flood? Again?
No, that was the fall of man.
Oh, the fall of man. Okay, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
for fuck's sake, apparently he decided that when some people took a bite out of fruit, that made the Earth's mantle real hot and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what's
That's natural driver of mental plumes.
All right. Let's see.
Actually, there is a ring of truth to this, because when Eve ate from the apple, they realized how hot she was. Could that have been?
I love the metaphor.
There's the Peter we all know and love. All right.
Yeah, now the Mormons could come in maybe and say that's the explanation for Yellowstone, since it's comparatively close to Eden, which, as they know, is in Missouri.
Yeah.
We have actually, everybody, we have reached 1 o'clock, which which is the end of our allotted time slot. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however, we are not obligated to watch any more Ken Ham tonight. If any of you wish to torture yourself, I can direct you to his channel after the show.
It's okay, Sai. We know where it is.
You know where to find it. All right. I would like to once again thank Tony, Doc Hackenslash. I would like to thank you for inviting us, all of us, to participate.
Yeah, thank you.
It has been great, and don't worry. I also abbreviated our closing, so it's not a full 3 minutes of good-natured banter. It's about 30 seconds.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Do you realize that what we just did was the opposite of the quantum hug? Because
all right. Everybody on the panel, just say hugs, then, please.
I'm not hugging Ken.
No.
I'm not hugging Ken.
Not for him. Not for him.
I'm not hugging him. I'm not hugging him.
Hug the pug.
Okay. You'd be willing to, oh, by the way, Pug, for those of you who do not know, you can see the Pug is also watching the video with us. That is Buster the Atheist Pug. He didn't used to be an atheist.
Hi, Buster.
He thought I was God.
Hold on, Si.
Oh?
It's Quantum Pug.
Quantum Pug? Oh, no. Oh, no. Let us not.
The pug is simultaneously watching and not watching the show.
Let us not dilute Tony's hashtag, which seems to be taken over Twitter, I might add.
Nice.
And
it's trending again.
Hugs matter.
Yeah,
Anyway.
if you can have Schrodinger's cat, shouldn't you have Schrodinger's pug?
Indeed. And hug and pug. That's better than plug and pug. Perfect.
Oh, God.
Fantastic.
Luigi for the win. All right, we're going over our time slot. Thank you, Tony. It's been great.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, all of you. Fantastic.
All righty.
It was fun, guys. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you all for hanging with us through this thing. Okay. And everyone on the panel will now know it is time to bring on the pug. And here we go.
Quantum pug.
Cute pug.
Think of what you put him through. It makes him sad.
That's why he needs the hug.
Absolutely.
He's so much stupid.
Hug and pug. I like it.
That was awesome.
Thanks, everybody. And that's it. That's the
Oh, that was awesome.
Cheers, dude. Thank you so much.
Good night.